Imagine a near future where quantum AI unlocks unimaginable speed and intelligence.
Instead of training on billions of data points sequentially, quantum computers can evaluate all possible patterns simultaneously. When you combine quantum computing with AI, what researchers call quantum machine learning, you don't just get faster AI. You get AI that can solve problems that are currently impossible.
Now pair that with universal basic income, a world where your survival is guaranteed and your purpose is unleashed.
This is where an idea from the 2020 presidential campaign returns to the conversation. Universal Basic Income, or UBI. The concept, pretty straightforward. Every American adult would receive a set check each month. For Cook County, Illinois, which includes Chicago, this concept just became reality. The Cook County Board of Commissioners unanimously approved its 2026 budget proposal just this month. It includes $7.5 million for a guaranteed basic income program. Commissioners approved it after the success of a pilot program where the county provided $500 a month to 3,200 households over 2 years. Survey findings based on that pilot revealed that 94% of the program recipients used the funds to address financial emergencies. 75% reported feeling more financially secure. 70% said that the program had a positive impact on mental health.
The positive aspect of universal basic income is that, first of all, I think we could both agree that if an enormous amount of jobs just go away, that probably is the only way to sustain society. Most people in this country right now are working check to check, and they're essentially getting by. And any catastrophe, medical or otherwise, will eliminate all savings instantaneously, and they're doomed. So if universal basic income can provide you with food and shelter, now you no longer have to think about food, you no longer have to think about shelter. Now you have to find meaning.
As an INFJ, empathizing and envisioning a better world, you now have the space to create, to guide, to transform lives.
So how does a day look for an INFJ in a world powered by both? Let me show you in the video ahead.
AI is no longer an abstract threat. It's causing job loss right now, and the headlines, they tell the story. The Massachusetts Institute of Technology, MIT, on Wednesday released a study that found that artificial intelligence can already replace 11.7% of the U.S. labor market, or as much as $1.2 trillion in wages across finance, healthcare, and professional services. The New York Times recently reported that Amazon is on the cusp of replacing what would be 600,000 warehouse jobs with robots and plans to automate 75% of its operations. CNBC reporting that Salesforce, Walmart, Paramount, UPS, YouTube, and Meta have all announced new rounds of layoffs attributable to AI, with nearly 1 million job cuts nationwide this year. That's the job loss that we can measure. Now consider what some are predicting about the future. Goldman Sachs estimating that 6 to 7% of the U.S. workforce could be displaced due to AI adoption. They do note, however, that the impact may only be transitory because new opportunities created by AI might ultimately put people to work in other capacities. A report by the McKinsey Global Institute finding that AI could displace 40% of American jobs due to automation by 2030. That analysis found that robots and AI agents could automate more than half of U.S. work hours, both manual and cognitive, using technology that's available today if companies redesigned how they'll do things in the future. The World Economic Forum projecting that 92 million jobs worldwide may be displaced by 2030. Ford's CEO saying that AI could replace half of all white-collar workers there. NYU professor Scott Galloway predicting that AI will hit middle management first, noting that 6% dropped in managers at public companies since 2022. So here we are, AI eliminating jobs, more automation coming. If millions of people lose work, how will they support themselves?
Now we've talked about why INFJs could be the biggest winners in a UBI world. The stats, the experiments, the big picture vision. But let's make this real. Instead of asking what if, I want you to imagine it's already here. Universal basic income isn't a proposal or a pilot program anymore. It's happening right now. And the best way to understand it, let's step into the shoes of an INFJ. We're going to walk through a full day in their life, morning to night, in a world where money for survival is no longer the question, purpose is. As I paint this picture, I want you to see it. The little details, the freedom, the choices, the meaning woven into each moment. This isn't theory anymore. This is what life feels like when INFJs finally have the space to live fully aligned with who they are. So let's take that journey, a day in the life of an INFJ in a UBI world. A day in the life of an INFJ in a UBI world. The alarm doesn't scream anymore. There's no frantic rush to beat traffic, no knot in the stomach about a manager's glare. Instead, sunlight pours through the window, and INFJ wakes slowly, with intention. Their first thought isn't about survival, it's about purpose. In the kitchen, the coffee brews, they open a worn leather journal, the kind that's carried dreams for years, and begin sketching the day. Not a to-do list of obligations, but a roadmap of meaning. Finish a chapter of the novel, plant seedlings in the community garden, mentor a teenager after school. With UBI covering the basics, they no longer ask, how will I afford to live? Instead, they ask, how will I live with meaning? Cut to late morning, our INFJ is outside, hands in the dirt at that community garden. Neighbors trickle in, people who used to be exhausted from double shifts, now curious, now hopeful. The INFJ explains crop rotation with a quiet smile, weaving empathy into every instruction. What was once a hobby squeezed into weekends is now the heartbeat of their day, creating spaces where others feel seen, nourished, and connected. Afternoons, the INFJ writes, not hurried emails or soulless reports, but stories, chapters of the book that's been waiting inside them for years. With Descript, they edit spoken drafts recorded the night before. With ChatGPT, they brainstorm plot lines that resonate with universal struggles. The words aren't just sentences. They're a mirror for society, born from an INFJ's vision and amplified by tools that help them bring it to life. Evening. The INFJ walks into a community center buzzing with voices. They've started a mentorship circle, not for money, but for meaning. Young people gather, drawn by the INFJ's calm insight and uncanny ability to understand them. Conversations unfold about careers, fears, and hopes for the future. The INFJ doesn't preach. They listen, reflect, and guide. With UBI covering survival, they can finally give their energy to the one thing they always wanted, lifting others. Nightfall. The day closes as it began, in stillness. Back at home, journal in hand, the INFJ writes one final reflection under soft lamplight. The note is simple. Today mattered. Not because of profit, not because of deadlines, but because in this new world, their empathy and vision are free to shape each day into something deeply human.
You have a 4-year-old grandson. When he turns around to you someday and says, Granddad, what should I do professionally as a career based on how you think the future's going to look? What might you say to him?
I would say work on the beautiful human being that you can become. I think that that part of ourselves will persist even if machines can do most of the jobs.
What part?
The part of us that loves and accepts to be loved and takes responsibility and feels good about contributing to each other and our, collective well-being and, our friends or family. I feel for humanity more than ever because I've realized we are in the same boat and we could all lose. But it is really this human thing. And I don't know if, machines will have these things in the future, but for certain, we do. And there will be jobs where we want to have people. If I'm in a hospital I want a human being to hold my hand while I'm anxious or in pain. The human touch is going to, I think, take more and more value as the other skills, become more and more automated.
This is the INFJ reality in a world where UBI isn't a dream but the present. A life where purpose, not pressure, guides every sunrise to sunset.